Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is pretty exciting as it is sponsored by Netmarble and Lineage 2 Revolution for their War in Wonderland campaign. I'm painting myself as their Alice character, who is super adorable. Before I start, I've sketched out the design off camera and filled out some base flat paints using Mayron Paradise paints. I focus on getting an opaque coverage over the entire chest before I go live on Twitch. All of my designs are drawn out in lip liner. It's very easy to wipe off if you make a mistake. I also drew in my waist illusion pre-stream, which you will see in the photos. In essence, I draw my waist slimmer in order to suit particular characters by using a black paint that will mask against the backdrop. I took the liberty of editing her design slightly around the collar and increasing the bow size, as I thought that they were elements that might translate better onto the body. These looks only work if you make believable 3D illusions, so the bow was a good opportunity to show fabric folds which help that. I use light and dark blues to try and capture the dimension in the bow. Similarly with the shading in the bow, I also use different brown, yellow and gold tones to make sure that the heart emblem stands out. All of my line work is done in a NYX Epic ink liner or with SFX cream paints in black. I use a lot of outlines to really make that cartoon style pop. Using white paint, carefully lining the edges is another way to bring things to life with light. I find over-highlighting the bow to be a good trick to make it vibrant and vivid, and I often really abuse highlights. It's hard to describe each different component with the design because I go back and forth with different elements of an outfit to avoid getting bored with an area and to make sure that I don't over-focus on areas that are fun to paint. A common problem that I have is spending too much time doing the core chest pieces and less time on the arms because they're hard to paint. With Alice's design, because she has so many fabric folds and ruffles, there's a lot of dimension to be added, and honestly I struggled big time here. I have done ruffles before, but sometimes they can be a little bit of a mind bender. You have to take some time really imagining how to draw them realistically. I would suggest looking at a real ruffle to understand the folds and how they work. Once you've understood how they bend and fold, you can actually focus the lighter paint on top of the ruffles that are kind of closer to the audience, and the ones that are further back, you can paint them in a darker grey. Like I mentioned earlier, the arms are always a struggle, especially with the right arm since it requires me to paint with a non-dominant hand. A tip here is to move your arm with the paint. You can almost try to direct where your brush is going, just moving the arm more than the left hand, if that makes sense. One of the common techniques you find me using, especially when highlighting the blue fabric, is to use cream paint on top of water active paint to buff in the white highlights. It helps lift the fabric up and appear more realistic. Also, cream paints sit more opaque than water activated, so it's really great for last minute highlights which would otherwise fade grayer with water activated white. Just be careful not to smudge it as it doesn't dry down. Moving on from the body paint, put your contact lenses in if your eyes aren't blue. I'm using circle lenses for that anime look. For skin, I prime my face first and then go in with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation and Tarte Concealer. I buff it all in with a thick buffing brush for Natasha Denona and set it with a MAC powder. I do use a light amount of bronzer to carve out some contours in the face and warm the overall complexion. Since we're going for a kawaii look, I've also used a lot of blush for a really rosy cheek. I use it quite liberally. You can even add a little bit on the forehead, chin and nose. Since it's a pale pink colour, it's very buildable, so don't worry about using a lot. I always do my brows with NYX's Micro Brow Pencil and set with their brow gel. For eyeshadow, I'm using my new Natasha Denona Gold palette for a variety of warm neutrals to give a soft shadow to the eye. I focus on an outer V area with a fluffy brush and then add a little soft matte pink. With a lip liner and a Furless Cosmetics detail brush, I start lining the eyes. I add a little on the top lash line and under the bottom waterline. I want to open the eyes up, so I focus on creating a new eye shape. In the waterline, I add white cream paint. Add the mascara of your choice. I use half lashes for this look, focusing on adding volume to the outer edges of the eyes. For a very sweet shimmery pink-white highlight, my favourite is Pink Glow by Bobbi Brown. It's the best highlight for fair skin tones in my opinion. I use my custom lip palette to create a light pink blend lipstick, but add a coral colour to the innermost part of the lips to create that kind of Korean lipstick style. This type of lipstick makes your lips look a little bit smaller, but it suits that doll-like look. Finally, you can add your headband. I made mine from a piece of foam. I cut 2 rabbit ear-shaped pieces and stapled folds into them. I added some painterly strokes to add dimension because it matched the paint style on the body. And once you've made those, you can hot glue them to a blue headband. There you have my finished look. I hope that you enjoyed this Lineage 2 Revolution War in Wonderland inspired look. Please check out the bio for a link to the game's page if you would like to check it out yourself. And remember guys, when you download Lineage 2 Revolution, make sure to check out the new Alice in Wonderland event and the limited time 3-day Wonderland wardrobe pass. And a big thank you to Netmarble and Lineage 2 Revolution for sponsoring this streaming video. I'm very grateful. Thank you for watching and please subscribe if you enjoyed. For real, it really helps me out. Okay guys, I will see you in the next video.